Hello everyone, this is Team G and this is our Management Information System project. So first of all, we need to understand what is virtualization. Overview, virtualization is technology that lets you create useful IT services using resources that are traditionally bound to hardware. It allows you to use a physical machine's full capability by disturbing its capabilities among many users and environments. And it is also a very cheap and very useful way to creating IT services. So how does hardware virtualization works? Hardware virtualizations has gained popularity in server platforms. In this century, it is very popular. The basic idea to enable hardware virtualization is to integrate numerous small physical servers into a single large physical server for the processor to be used effectively. The operating system that runs on the physical server is converted into an OS that runs inside the virtual machine. Hence, hardware virtualization means embedding a virtual machine software into a server's hardware components. This software is given different names, with virtual machine monitor and hypervisor as the most common ones. Hypervisor controls the memory, processor, and the other components and allows different OS to run on the machine without needing a source code. As we can see in the picture, traditional and virtual architecture, as you can see, traditional architecture is application, operating system, and the servers. But virtual architecture is more different than traditional architecture, like app, OS, virtualization layer, and server. And this is more modern way to running and creating IT. So it is Ibrahim's turn.
Types of virtualization. Now I will explain the 5 most popular types of virtualization. First one is desktop virtualization. It's technology that lets users simulate a workstation load to access a desktop from a connected device. Second one is network virtualization. It's a method of combining the available resources in a network to consolidate multiple physical networks, divide a network into segments, or create software networks between virtual machines. Third one is storage virtualization. It's the pooling of multiple physical storage arrays from storage area networks and making them appear as a single virtual storage device. Fourth one is server virtualization. It's the process of creating multiple server instances from one physical server. Last one is application virtualization. It's technology that allows users to access and use an application from a separate computer than the one on which the application is installed. Next page, please. Where can virtualization be used? Virtualization enables you to run more workloads on a single server, which reduces the number of physical machines in your environment. Reduced cost. Hardware is most often the highest cost in a data center. Because virtualization reduces the need for physical machines, the cost also goes down. Now, top 3 virtualization software for Windows. First one is Virtualbox. Oracle VM Virtualbox is cross-platform virtualization software. Second is Hyper-V. It's Microsoft's hardware virtualization product. It lets you to create and run a software version of a computer called a virtual machine. Third one is VMware Workstation. It's a line of desktop hypervisor products which let users run virtual machines, containers, and Kubernetes clusters. Now, Emir is going to give us more detail about top 3 virtualization software.
Hello everyone, my name is Emir Sucu. I am talking about Virtualbox, Hyper-V, and VMware Workstation. First of all, what is Virtualbox? Virtualbox is open source software. We can set up our own virtual computer. Virtualbox is free application. We have one physical computer but two IOs. Virtualbox is open source software for virtualizing the x86 computing architecture. It acts as a hypervisor, creating VM virtual machine where the user can run another OS operating system. The operating system where VirtualBox runs is called the host OS. The operating system running in the VM is called the ghost. VirtualBox supports Windows, Linux, or macOS as its hosts. When configuring a virtual machine, the user can specify how many CPU cores and how much RAM and disk space should be devoted to the VM. When the VM is running, it can be paused system. Exiting is frozen at that moment in time, and the user can resume using it later. Second, what is Hyper-V? Hyper-V, Microsoft application such as VirtualBox. This is a free application. Hyper-V is Microsoft software virtualizing product. It lets you can create and run a software version of a computer called a virtual machine. Each virtual machine acts like a complete computer running and operating system and programs. Hyper-V runs each virtual machine in its own isolated space, which means you can run more than one virtual machine on the same hardware at the same time. What is VMware Workstation? We have two types VMware Workstation. First, the Pro Edition and Normal Edition. When we use VMware Workstation Pro, we must pay money. But other edition, it's a free. VMware Workstation Pro is a hosted hypervisor that runs on x64 versions of Windows and Linux operating system. It enables users to set up virtual machines on a single physical machine and use them simulate to Z along with the lost machine. Each virtual machine can execute its own operating system, including versions of Microsoft, Windows, Linux, BCD, and MS-DOS. VMware Workstation is developed and sold by VMware, including there is a free of charge version near a workstation player for non-common crawl use and operating systems. License is needed to use proprietary ones such as Windows, ready-made Linux. VMAs set up for different purposes are available from several sources.
Hello everybody, my name is Mustafa and I am talking about advantages of hardware virtualization. It has many advantages to do it. The main advantage is that it is much easier to control virtual machines than physical server. Operating systems running on the machine appear to have their own memory and process. Hardware virtualization can increase the scalability of your business while also reducing expenses at the same time. We can think of it like this. The company provides the opportunity to work from home and thus avoids many unnecessary expenses. And We have seen the most recent example of this during the COVID-19. It can reduce downtime cuts that are otherwise incurred in terms of money losses and recovery time in times of disasters affecting a physical server. A virtual machine can be easily cloned, also thus making the environment more resilient. It also increases your team's productivity by spending lesser times on physical hardware monitoring and maintenance. Also, I talk about advantages of virtual machines. Also, virtual machines has some disadvantages. The first disadvantage is implementation. Implementation means sometimes more investments is needed in virtualization. This increases the cost, but this investments is one-time and long investments. Second one is limitations. Not every server and application is suitable for virtualization, so organization need a hybrid system. Hybrid system means you need a physical place for working, and also you can work on your home or where you live. Third one is security. In our age of technology, that data is very important for every organization. So virtualization must be secured. Otherwise, data can be stolen and company faces a very serious problem. For example, how long time ago, I can't remember, but Yemek Sepeti have some scandals for stolen data. Fourth one is availability. This is only controlled by third-party providers. There is nothing users can do here. And the last one, scalability. Even though you start the business small, there is always chance for you to grow bigger. If there are no way you could become large, the entities of the same range can achieve it. So as a result, they can dominate small business, stealing resources from them. Thanks for listening and watching.